From historic Doyle Field in Leominster, we say a very good evening, everyone, and welcome to high school lacrosse here on RFM. Alongside Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins, Todd Robbins for RFM tonight. Great to have you with us tonight as Leominster get set on senior night here at historic Doyle Field to play host to Groton Dunstable. Leominster comes in with a 12-2 overall record. Groton Dunstable 5-5. These two teams met in an exciting game earlier this year out in Groton, a game that Leominster edged out the Crusaders by a 14-12 score, and we're expecting a similarly offensive-minded matchup tonight. And Coach Emma Ordeman said to me in her pregame comments, they are looking forward to this opportunity to play this Leominster team again. They really felt like those two goals were a minor difference between these two squads. We will have all of that, including the senior festivities coming up here on RFM tonight. Turn to Bill Thomas first, and Billy, here we go. This Leominster team, a team that we saw just the other night in what turned out to be a difficult loss in their own right, snapping a long win streak that dated all the way back to April 5th, a 17-11 loss to a quality Bromfield team. And for Leominster, this is an opportunity to get right back up on the horse after getting bucked last week.
Yeah, they came out kind of flat last week, Todd and Kate, and Leominster girls fell behind early. I think it was 7-1 at halftime, or at least very early, before halftime, and never bounced back from that 6-goal deficit. They battled back in the second half, cut it to 3 a couple of times, but the game was never really that close. Bromfield did a great job controlling the action. Second half maintained that 6-goal lead, plus or minus a couple, but ended up with a 6-goal lead at the end, and Bromfield really played like they deserved that 6-goal win. Even though both teams came in on long winning streaks, Bromfield was just a little stronger last Thursday when we saw them, and they deserved to win. I'm expecting Leominster to bounce back. We commented the second half, Leominster found a way to play even, but they just could never overcome that early 6-goal deficit.
Never make it over the top. And Kate, this is one of those times of the year where you have to have a short memory when you are a team who's been having a quality year, and then you, of course, drop a game, and now you find yourself in a situation where you've got to scramble it back together and rebuild that momentum that you had. It kind of came to an abrupt halt. You've now got to build it back up again on the doorstep of the Central Mass tournament, and right around the corner, the MIA tournament after that.
Well, one of the nice things if you are coaching staff for the Blue Devils is that now your team knows that you are not impervious. And so going into the end of the season, you want to be playing your best lacrosse. You want to be prepping for that playoff run, going into the Samada tournament and then into the statewide tournament as well. You want to position yourself effectively so that you can be prepared to be playing at, and firing on all cylinders once you get there. And sometimes if the road becomes too easy, sometimes you need to make sure that you remember you get that chink in the armor, fix it, and then be able to see how you're able to recover and move on. And I think that at the end of the day, as long as this girls lacrosse team is able to do that for Leominster, if they're able to, as you said, kind of reflect, self-assess, fix some problems, move on, it may be the best thing for them in the long run.
Indeed, it may be. Meanwhile, on the Crusaders side of things, Groton Dunstable found themselves on the back end of this season with 4 straight road games to close out the year, and thus far they are 0-2 in that 4-game set. Back-to-back losses at Neshoba, at Tingsboro by a 14-8 score, and then a 13-10 score, and then a game with Littleton last Friday that the result never got reported. There's a shock. But that was the 3rd game in that streak. We can confirm 2 out of the 3, and now their last listed game, at least for this point in this new regular season, comes up today against Leominster. So this battle is going to ensue here at Doyle Field. But first, we join public address announcer Dick Tucker for the introductions. Great to have you with us here on RFM. It's Leominster and Groton Dunstable coming up. First draw in a few moments on senior night here at historic Doyle Field. You're enjoying this one in same-day delay on Facebook, facebook.com/media rivalry. But first, opening introductions, national anthem, and first draw. We'll have it all for you here. This is RFM.
or other intimidating actions directed at officials, coaches, and representatives will not be tolerated when traveling to Doyle Field. This is the starting lineup for tonight's game. First, our guest from Groton Dunstable, number 22, Kylie Cudahy. Number 25, Kylie Cudahy. Captain Zoe Leominster. Number 2, Jenna Coach. Number 6, Lily Valenta. Number 7, Sophia Egan. Number 24, Captain Clinton. Assistant coach is Paul Coach. Record is 5-5 in the league. They are 3-2. On defense for the Blue Devils, number 6, Anna. Number 2, Jenna. Captain, number 8, Bridget O'Reilly. For the Blue Devils is number 23, Laura Bolatin. This is record, 11-2. These kids is in first place. Head coach is Dennis Shaw. Assistant coach is Haley Davis. Ladies and gentlemen, this time after the lead line, things are Washington. I bring you for you as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
And with that, we're ready for lacrosse here on RFM. Leominster and Groton Dunstable ready for action. And of course, one of my favorite parts of the girls' lacrosse game, that is stick check to open the game, as both officials get set to meet with the captains at midfield. Then the check of the sticks to make sure, again, that the pockets are within legal ramification. They are within legal methodology. And from there, once those pockets are ruled to be legal, we'll be ready for action here on RFM. Meanwhile, the officials down on the field struggling with the public address and music system and an inability to hear what's going on down on the field. And so they are now lowering the music here in the stadium to get ready for action.
Fourth game today, I believe, for each
Punchy.
of these.
We'll call it punchy at this
punchy.
point, as we get set.
Had
But
enough.
as our old friend Tom Flanagan from Worcester Telegram pointed out, when he was caught on social media out officiating a middle school baseball game with zero training, zero equipment, and zero partner, there is a shortage of officials going on all across in every sport, all across the region right now. So, hey, either take the test or live with the circumstances as the case may be.
Todd, do you carry your equipment around just in case?
I do not, Bill Thomas.
I don't carry mine either.
I am happily retired.
Although I'd be happy to do a Little League game once in a while. But
that makes one of us in the conversation. Ready for this one, and it should be, again, a matchup that featured a lot of offense for teams that if you look at the records on paper, you say, wow, it seems a bit of disparity. 12-2 for Leominster, 5-5 for Groton Dunstable. But this was a 14-12 game not but 3 or so weeks ago. So it stands to reason, Bill Thomas, this is going to be a game built around a lot of offense.
Well, I'm expecting it to be a competitive game. Sun was a factor, in the last game we did, and we'll have to see how that plays into, which end. We see most of the scoring tonight. Whoever's minding the goal to our left, they're looking straight into that Sun, setting down over the baseball and track in the upper field. But, I think this is a good test for Leominster. We questioned their 27th or 8th position in the standings with an 11-1 record last week. But we saw they played tough competition and they weren't able to overcome that. So they're going to be in the playoffs. Whether they're deserving of a home game or not, if they can't get in the top 32, possibly a home game on a play-in game. But one way or the other, they're in the playoffs. They just got to step up the offense and show that they belong. On the other side, Groton Dunstable's right on that cusp of 500. Not sure where they are in their standings. I didn't get a chance to peek at the latest MIAs, but they're playing for a 500 record, so they're basically playing for their life right now.
And we got to actually lower that volume a little bit, Bill Thomas, as the wind continues to pick up and whip against that crowd mic out here in front of the press box.
30-mile-an-hour winds they were predicting tonight, but maybe once the sun gets a little lower in the sky, wind might die down with it.
That could affect the ball flight as well. And, you mentioned, of course, the goal defending to our left is going to be a difficult place to start. And it is an 8 o'clock sunset tonight, Bill Thomas. One of the later ones of the year. I won't say it's the latest one, but it's one of the later ones of the year. That means that sun is going to hang up in the sky through most of this first half.
Yeah, and who's ever looking towards that upper field, I hope they have sunglasses on or they got a good visor. But, I'm sure offensively, who's ever shooting towards that goal is going to look for some bounce shots and try to get the goalie's eyes going in different directions and use that sun to their advantage.
Indeed, they will. Bill Thomas, what we saw last week, Leominster has a couple of different options offensively. Obviously, you have Gabby Santucci. That's the story here, the Oregon commit, but you have others as well. And Kylie Cudahy piled up the points as well last week, had 3-4 goals to her own right and played incredibly well. And I'm to understand she's also a Division I commit. University of Colorado, I'm to understand, is her commitment for the years ahead as well. So certainly plenty of opportunities ahead for these folks coming down the line, but it gives Leominster a couple of different offensive looks, also a couple of different folks that can kind of distribute, create opportunities for their teammates, draw the defense to them, and then distribute the ball to the appropriate player.
Well, when neither one of those two girls have the ball, they're going to be drawing a lot of attention. Although the checking is limited, there's a lot of things you can do to distract the player, get in their way, take the shooting lanes away. But, they're good passes both in their own right, and the other teammates got to be aware. They got to be moving. We saw a lot of that rotation, and you look for that one quick pass inside, then snap after that shot. and that's what you can see from either one of those girls. You got to play with your stick up, get ready, or you might end up eating a ball if you're not careful.
Facebook.com/Media Rivalry for your live premieres. YouTube.com. Search Rivalry Family Media. Like, follow, and subscribe today. When we go live with content or post content in delay, you get notifications on your smart-enabled device here on RFM. And it's great to have you with us as we are now ready. Sticks are checked. We are ready for our first draw. And, as you look at things, Bill Thomas, there are two very different schools of thought. Kate has talked about in some sports, there's a particular vibe. And right now, as the vibe goes here, Groton Dunstable looks awfully loose out there. They're ready to play, but very, very loose.
Well, I think, they look at this as a revenge game. I'm sure they had that score from early in the season up on the bulletin board in the locker room and talked about it at practice, looked at some of the game film that might have been available. But, the coach talked about 1 or 2 shots, 1 or 2 mistakes was the difference in that game. And, you talk about playing 40 minutes, hundreds of shots, hundreds of passes, and it comes down, to one fast break, one pass, one missed pass, one missed defensive assignment, and that's how close that first game was.
So as the teams have been laid out here, we saw Leominster in their game the other day defended the goal to our right in the opening half. Tonight, they will defend the goal to our left. So Laura Philandes, who gets the start in the cage for Leominster, is going to be staring into that setting sun for the majority of the first half, Bill Thomas.
Yeah, and was that a coin flip, Todd?
I didn't see it. I have to presume it was.
Yeah. I'm going to have to brush up on my pregame coin flip.
No, there's no way Leominster would have chosen
that
cage.
end by choice. Yeah, I would agree. So Santucci steps in for the draw control against Bella Panini.
With an 8 o'clock sunset tonight, I don't think either first or second half it's going to make a difference. I think both halves are going to be played in the sun.
Officials aligning the sticks, getting the crosses, and the ball set back to back. There's the whistle, and first draw is underway. And Leominster has the draw control on a nice second effort there made by Nina Marchetti. And Marchetti will control down the right side of the field as Leominster goes left to right here in half number 1. This is Laura Young, one of 2 seniors for Leominster, controlling the ball at X. And Leominster does a lot of creation from behind the cage, Billy, early on.
Yeah, they look for the rotation, but not enough, as much room as in the boys' game, but the girls make good use of what they have back there. Play a little closer, more compact game.
Miller Ayala feeds Young, who comes to the right side of the cage and steps on back behind the cage. Caroline Clinton gets the start in the cage to our right for the Crusaders. Slash to the cage. It was Cudahy. Nice find by Young with a shot wide left, rolling toward the boundary left and chased down and kept alive by Leominster.
Great pass, cutting down the middle right there, unable to convert. Nice job in goal.
Melendez finds Santucci, who takes the run to the cage, goes with the tomahawk shot. It's wide to the left, but kept alive by Young on the backup.
Once again, if you're not familiar, who's ever closest to the ball when it rolls out of bounds gets to retain it.
On all shots as Cudahy comes in with a little low knee-high shot to the right, and it is knocked down by Clinton, and she controls her own rebound.
3 great saves here in the opening couple of minutes here. Keep Leominster off the board.
And Groton begins the clear out from right to left. This turns into a ground ball, gets flipped up in the air. Barry trying to chase it. A whistle, procedure called against Leominster, and the restart will belong to the Crusaders.
Quick reset here.
Indeed.
Never really broke stride.
This is Koch. Tries to send it to the top of the fan. There's a battle for it. Now flipped up in the air again, and Cudahy comes out with it. Her stick reached highest.
Out racing everybody down the field.
Yeah, now Santucci with it left to right in transition. Finds Cudahy. To the center. Drops it off for Melendez, and the ball gets knocked down. Clinton able to get the cross out from the goal circle and steal the ball away.
Nice downfield pass, too, to get things moving in the other direction.
Kate, we saw Bromfield work that transition with great ease coming over the middle of the field a couple of times last week.
We certainly did. Nice job there by the Groton Dunstable keeper to make sure that Leominster did not have multiple shot opportunities on that offensive end. Getting rid of that, getting it right back into midfield. Nice job on D there.
Long the fan inside the flash. It was Egan at the arc, and she'll kick it right back out for Valenta. Now inside, the move.
Nifty
It's Egan to the
footwork.
cage, and goes with a little soft backhand.
Little shovel shot there.
Indeed, and Philandes
Sneaky.
equal to the task, and now able to start the clear out, finds Caldwell along the right wing. Teams with quality scoring opportunities in the early going. Young gets an opportunity, right doorstep, comes back across her body and misses at right post. Ball will run toward the sideline and will roll out of play.
It's like
Now Leominster got it on the restart. It went out of my sight line there, Bill Thomas.
Yep,
And
that
you-
solid window down there.
You cut right in the way of the camera, too.
Windows
when you
to
were
security.
looking.
Was that me?
That was you.
That's right. The corner of the press box was in the way to begin with.
Ball gets caught up at the top of the arc, and there is a whistle. Procedure signaled against Leominster with the foul on the offensive end, and the ball will belong to Groton Dunstable. Cudahy got whistled for it, so they will move her behind on the restart. And now using Clinton as an extra player out on the field. Leominster is able to crash. That's Hersey. Groton Dunstable able to repossess the ball, still on their defensive end, as we wind down the first 5 minutes of this 25-minute first half of action. Groton Dunstable makes the midfield, and Koch gets called for it, and Leominster is whistled for the blow to the head. On the restart, Groton Dunstable owns it, and then there's a whistle on the field, and a card is put up.
Yellow. Kneel or sit. 5. Kneel or
This game
sit.
sponsored by Played against 1414 North Main Street, Leominster.
18-14 release.
And so it is a 2-minute penalty charged against Melendez. She was issued a yellow card. Way the card got displayed down here. I thought he was bidding on something. I didn't know we had an auction going on up here, but saw the paddle go up. I just wasn't sure what he was bidding on.
Thought he was billing her with a soccer yellow card. The next one, she was going to be showing the bus.
Action resumes here in the left corner, and Leominster, at least initially, on this man-up opportunity for Groton Dunstable, is able to shut down, and Leominster can kill clock here on the man-up opportunity.
Looking for the wrong offensive opportunity right here, all the way.
On the shorthanded, Miller Ayala, all the way down the right wing as we go under the 20-minute mark here in the first half.
And even if Leominster's offense not able to score here, the amount of quality seconds that they're taking off of this woman opportunity. And
Young with the wraparound short corner score!
You don't see that every day.
Indeed you do not. A short-handed score. Leominster draws the first goal of the game at 19:32 of the first half. It is a 1-0 Leominster lead, and Kate, this time, Young tried that same move that she used the last time, wrapped from that right post, but instead of coming all the way to point blank and then trying to snap back across the grain, she just took it, got inside that right post, found the short corner.
And sometimes when there are fewer bodies out there, it kind of opens up some space and you're able to see things a little bit more clearly. Obviously, you don't see a lot of shorthanded goals in this instance, but nice job by Leominster's offense there to not only take quality seconds off of the woman up opportunity for Groton Dunstable, but also somehow find a way to make them pay on top of it and lead the score 1-0.
And kill a minute of this 2-minute woman advantage that Groton Dunstable enjoys, and then they commit the violation on the next draw, and Leominster is handed the ball.
Back at it again.
Very familiar looking offensive play again, too.
And Miller Ayala takes it down the right side, feeds Young, who will trot on down to the back of the cage at X. Winding down to about the 19-minute mark, about 45 seconds left on the woman advantage.
Groton Dunstable showing some challenges on the edges there, which they did not show in that earlier goal.
This
Allowed
is
her to
gonna
walk
be
right out in front.
Infuriating for the Groton Dunstable coaching staff as well. to be given the opportunity to go woman up, and then you essentially have not controlled the ball at all.
Santucci missed the connection with Marchetti. The following action, Leominster commits the foul. Groton Dunstable tries to clear their own end, and it's stolen away once again. This is Bridget O'Malley, the other senior, with the steal. Then there's a blow to the head. Leominster gets to continue on the connecting action. Cudahy was on the doorstep at the arc and took it all the way behind the cage as we go back to even strength here in a matter of seconds. And rejoining the action is Melendez, who will head all the way to the far side of the field. Santucci flashes to the arc, and there's contact to the head with the stick again. This will be a direct opportunity. Santucci can shoot on cage or pass. Cuts to the cage, bounce shot, score! Makes good use of the direct opportunity. 17:48 left in the first half, and Leominster out to a 2-0 advantage.
Nice job right there, rushing the net. Loves that little bounce shot too. Trying to get the goalie to reverse the stick, holding that stick up, trying to get it to beat her on the bottom before she can flip down.
And if you give Santucci the opportunity for a direct, she is lethal from that range.
2-minute opportunity on the woman up for Groton Dunstable turns into 2 Leominster goals. One came during the shorthanded, and then one just after it released.
Yeah, before the player was able to get back
really
into
rejoin
the action.
Absolutely.
And I don't think Groton Dunstable had a shot on goal on their own while they had that
they
woman
did not.
up. Never even really got set in the offensive zone. Good job by Leominster.
Back to the midfield.
Talk about a penalty kill.
I was going to say, what a great penalty kill. Back to the midfield they go. It's 17:48 left here in the first half. A 2-0 Leominster advantage. Cross is set.
I'd get a yellow card right there.
Santucci sends it up in the air, and there's a steamroll in the follow-up action as Santucci gets tied up with Barry, the senior. And so the ball will belong to the Crusaders on the restart. And Santucci comes in waving the stick wildly after the whistle to restart. That draws a dangerous play whistle, and the restart will belong to the Crusaders once again.
She needs to get some playing time in the boys' team, so you get some of that aggression.
She'll be in
out.
the pack soon enough. She'll be just fine.
She'll work that out in the years ahead.
She'll be just fine in the pack.
Hardy of the lightning yellow shoes comes down to the near side. Finds Koch. Short corner. She lost the ball. The whistle is called. Leominster is whistled for the violation. And this will be a direct opportunity from the left corner of the arc. 16:55 left here in the first half. Leominster with a 2-0 lead. Quality shot opportunity here. Koch to the cage. Goes low. Splits Volandis and finds the back of the cage.
Tough to defend that.
2-1. Groton Dunstable has halved the Leominster lead at the 16:42 mark of this first half of action. We expected a flurry, and thus far we have not been disappointed. But to talk a little bit about, kind of how lacrosse offensively goes, JV game right beforehand, same 2 schools competing in that action. You all were catching me up on this. It was a 3-2 game in the first 5 minutes, and then both teams go dry for 20 minutes of playing action through the end of the first half and into the start of the second. That's how this sport is. It's filled with offense, but it comes in a flurry.
And I think the final was 6-3 in that game. Very low-scoring game all around. But, goals hard to come by in that JV game.
Santucci gets the draw control off, the whistle for the violation, and she races down. The flag is up. The signal is a cross-check. And Santucci will have another direct opportunity here. This time coming from the left side of the arc. The whistle. She goes low sidewinder and snaps the back of the cage.
Just wow.
She had that look in her eye, waving that stick around like a bat and digging in on a full count, waiting for that fastball. And she took a swing with that stick. Well-placed shot right
She's
there.
got some confidence from multiple ranges.
Leominster regains a 2-goal advantage at 3-1. 16:08 to play here in the first half on action here on RFM. Same day delay. This action first draw at 7 o'clock. on this May the 17th. Hopefully you're enjoying it on the Facebook premiere, facebook.com/Media Rivalry, or any old time forever on the world of YouTube, youtube.com. Search Rivalry Family Media for the action, or it's tinyurl.com/Media Rivalry to take you straight to that YouTube page where you can click on the bell to follow along.
Is that a new one?
Indeed. Add that one to the list.
Ding the bell. Smash the like button.
And smash that like button.
Ring that bell.
Action resumes here and proceeds down the right side of the field. Barry sends a bouncing shot to Valenta. Valenta tries to connect a pass over to the left. It's Belapani. Belapani goes short corner, finds Shea. Shea back to Belapani. Gets caught in a sandwich of Blue Devils. The flag is out, and it will be a free position opportunity for the Crusaders. Belapani will have the trigger opportunity. Santucci is right there marking her right pocket, staying as close as the officials will allow. There's the whistle. Defense closes.
Beautiful job.
Santucci swings the stick over the top, and she's going to be blown for a whistle. It'll be another free position opportunity, but it took away a surefire scoring opportunity for Belapani.
Yeah, good job getting her stick in the way there. Having a reset, though.
Came
Another
right around
shot
the
at.
halo and right around the head. There's the whistle. Belapani again. This time, scrambles to the cage. Fakes left. Looks right and scores.
Can't bother her enough that time.
But there is a whistle, and the score is going to come off the
Waved
board.
off, waved
It's a
off.
violation of the goal circle.
Oh, all right.
So 14:55 left here in the first half. Take that surefire score off the scorecard for Groton Dunstable. We are still 3-1. Falandis with the giveaway in transition, but Leominster, Miller Ayala able to step up there and take the ball away and turn it from left to right for Leominster. She centers for Cudahy on the doorstep. Shot, point blank, saved by Clinton. What a great play.
Kick save.
In this sport, being
Ice
a
hockey
keeper
goalie style.
feels like a futile effort, but wow, what a great play.
You almost feel like you're at the offensive's mercy.
I will say, and I mean this only complimentary for her. I'm certainly not trying to take anything away from the other keepers. She looks the most fluid and natural in goal to me.
Right back downfield, and Falandis flails at that one and takes it out of the air.
She's one of the only keepers on the women's side that we've seen in Central Mass that really truly does look comfortable defending any shot coming at her.
And it was an impressive leg flying out. 13:40 to play in the first half. 3-1 Leominster's advantage, and they're back on the offensive end. Cudahy with the slow cradle. She'll flip it to Melendez. As Cudahy walks inside the fan, Santucci hanging out around that football 15-yard line.
Stolen.
Melendez tried to go to Young back of the
With the
cage,
goalie.
and in-stepped Clinton for the takeaway.
Wow.
She's impressive. Getting
Really
moved
playing her
back,
position.
but she's impressive.
Well, the whistle came against Leominster in transition, so Melendez has to get set behind. Now she races out, does Clinton. That is the keeper with the helmet. She's past the 25-yard line in the world of football, now past the 30. Has it poked away from Santucci. Santucci picks it up on the left side. Meanwhile, Clinton races back to her cage. The ball's taken out of the cross of Santucci, which is going to allow Clinton to return to what was an otherwise empty goal to our right.
I guess that's a case where you hate to see him stop that action, take the advantage away from the offense, allow the defense to regroup, especially the goalie.
And that is one of the things about the rules in this sport that we've seen a few times in the last few games is that occasionally that whistle, even though it is supposed to advantage the offense, at some points when it stops play, it actually disadvantages the non-offending party.
Belapani, dangerous pass, goes back after making the pickup in the defensive end. Meanwhile, Clinton sends it bounding up the middle of the field. Flipped up into the air and scooped on the fly by
Out
Belapani,
of
who
nowhere.
started the play and picks it back up on the offensive end
Where did
left.
she come from?
She will center, make the find for Koch. Had the ball stripped away from her, rolling on the ground. Ground ball scooped up there by Pompey. And Pompey goes center of the field for Leominster's transition as she finds a connection with Elena Marchetti. Marchetti, unbothered, right down the center right of the field. She'll go across the arc, tries to find Melendez, who has to play it from the ground. She will scoop it back up. Now the whistle goes off, and a timeout taken by Leominster. 11:34 to play here in the first half. It's a 3-1 Leominster lead here on RFM, and great to have you with us. And thus far, I think the most impressive part of what we've seen tonight is really the opportunities end to end. Both teams have had good scoring opportunities. Some have been able to take advantage of it, and I think right now, if you're on the Groton sideline and your coach, Emma Ordman, you're talking about the opportunities missed that you need to capitalize on as you go forward here.
Yeah, but on the reverse of that, Todd, you got to be grateful for the way your goalie's playing. Clinton's playing outstanding in goal for GD tonight. And, the opening first 2 or 3 minutes, she really set the tone. Leominster had 3 point-blank shots in succession. She stopped all 3 of them. Leominster's gone out to a 3-1 lead here, but very easily could be 6 or 7 at this point. But, you look at the opportunities GD's missed, too. They probably feel like they should be at least in a tie game or up by a goal. But, I think on reverse that, they're going to be fortunate they're only down 2. The play of their goalie has really kept them in this game in the first half.
I don't disagree with you at all. And meanwhile, Kate, if you're on the Leominster end of things, you've capitalized on the opportunities you've had, missed a couple of chances maybe there, had one kind of taken away maybe by a whistle in that last flurry of action. But here, Coach Abishai may be recognizing a shape issue. The team just looked a little scrambled there, despite, of course, having a lot of space on the offensive end. Call the timeout, settle everybody
And
down.
one of the things about Coach Abishai is you can hear him just about anywhere in the stadium when he wants to make a point to his team.
No question.
And so you've been hearing him kind of yelling, set it up, set it up. And I don't necessarily know that exactly what he is looking for is happening at every turn. So I think right now, because you do have this 2-goal advantage, you've been able to take advantage of, number 1, being woman down
Yes.
and having a shorthanded goal. Number 2, being able to essentially kill an entire woman disadvantage and have a goal taken off the board for the opposition. Right now, Leominster sitting in the catbird seat with this 2-goal lead. I think this is an opportune time for Coach Obashun to take a second, say, listen, we're the beneficiaries right now of a couple of things. We're continuing to remain unscathed. We have the lead. This is what I'm seeing. Let's get things started and going in the right direction so that we can continue to pad the lead.
And action resumes here as the lights are on here at historic Doyle Field as the sun
I was going to say, Bill
dips
Thomas
down.
says the sun's gone.
Sun's gone. I think we got some clouds over there on the horizon. It's kind of made an early sunset.
Young finds a flashing Cudahy. Bounce shot, score.
See?
Nice job right there,
Exactly.
crashing the net. Set
Exactly
it up.
what you're hoping for.
That could be the set it up. Work that weave and get it in front, but set it up and shoot, I think, should be the end of that sentence. And, Leominster passed up a couple of good shooting opportunities early in the game, but made that one pay off.
Could very well be do your job and do it well.
And he talked a little bit about, you could hear it from up here during one of the flurries of action, not forcing the action.
Yes.
Don't force the action
force it.
into the center. Take advantage of the opportunities that you get.
And you mentioned that when we talked about it in the first matchup that we saw earlier in the season, that there's no shot clock. So
Correct.
there's nothing that it's not as if you have 24 seconds to do something with the ball. You have all the time in the world. If you get a look and it doesn't look right, then you move on and you reset. And the beauty about this is that you can literally just go back around, cycle it back, run the same play. Until you get the look that you need, you have the opportunity, especially now with a 3-goal lead, to be able to make opportunities and make them count.
Nina Marchetti is able to grab control of the draw and race it from left to right down to the Leominster offensive end. Tries to make the handoff within the family, I think. Unable to make said connection. No, check it. That was Hersey. Ball makes its way to the fan. It's Cudahy with control. Cudahy dashed toward the arc and then dashed right back out to the fan as the ball proceeds around the outside of play. This is Hersey. Cycles for Young. Young working right side of the cage. Now
That's
drifts
Young.
all the way to the back.
And that's her spot right there. She's been camped out there practically the entire game, either assisting or scoring on her own.
Flashes to the right. Nothing
cutter.
there. Goes back. little pick run by Cudahy. It tried to set up her C, but there was a block.
Action.
Good mark there in front. Lauren Phelps for the Crusaders was there. Young has her pass deflected back down thanks to that defensive traffic in front, but she does re-corral the ball, and we'll have another opportunity as we wind under the 10-minute mark here of the first half.
Watch the girls out of their breaks here. See some of the weaving going on.
The little underhand flip. Melendez takes over that spot. She'll go left side. Tries to reverse the position, and the ball is stripped away by the Crusaders. And then a whistle goes off behind the play. Melendez is called for the foul during the transition, so the ball will belong to the Crusaders. Mia Paulding will have it on the restart. And at the whistle, the first thing she does, dangerously sends it back to the cage again. I know it's a thing in this sport, but man, throwing the ball back to your own cage just makes me plain nervous.
You got to be confident that your keeper's going to make that catch every time.
And I'll give you that the cross of the keeper is about twice as large as the crosses being used by the players elsewhere on the field, but I don't know that that's good enough. At least not for my patience. Miller Ayala with the ball through the middle of the field. She'll go left this time. She'll find Cudahy, who casually walks the ball through the fan. Sends it on back to Santucci. Steps back, takes a look. Now Fan. Arc, dash back out again. She'll reset. 2 Crusaders in front of her, jamming up the works. Now it's Miller Ayala. Rolls back, finds a pass for Marchetti. Hooked from behind, and that sets the whistle, and Nina Marchetti will have the direct free. Doing battle with Caroline Clinton in cage. There's the whistle. Marchetti goes low. 5-hole bounce shot. Finds the back of the cage.
Nice job. That's the way to success tonight. Almost every goal's been off that bounce shot. Good job right there. Go low.
And Clinton scrambles back up from the seat of her pants and scrambles back out to talk to her defense, who might have been a little slow closing on Marchetti there. They weren't able to close out and create the traffic in front she was looking for.
Yeah, she was at the top of the arc. She had a pretty good run there, but yeah, defense never got in on time and had a clear shot for the goal.
And we go back to the center circle for the draw, where Leominster has enjoyed quite a bit of advantage. Say 2-1 unofficially in draw controls at this point.
Another one right there. Good job.
Indeed. Miller Ayala comes up with it. Ball finds its way to Santucci. Cycles for Young. Young with control behind the cage, looking at the lay of the land as she's looking upfield.
Run the offense right now. Point guard.
Flashing Cudahy gets hooked. The cross along the throat, no call, but Cudahy is able to follow the ground ball all the way back out past the football 20-yard line, scoop it up and take it casually right back into the offensive attack.
A little reset here.
A little underhand scoop for Melendez, who takes that spot at X. Now Leominster lines up a play. Melendez instead goes left side, tries to go short corner. She gets hooked from behind. And the flag is up again. This a yellow card. And Leominster's going to get themselves a 2-minute advantage.
A little cross check. See who's coming off. Number 13.
Dangerous check.
It is a dangerous check that is signaled against Mia Paulding. So it'll be a 2-minute woman-up opportunity for Leominster. And the action resumes. Leominster's direct opportunity is knocked down. The whistle comes on the transition, and Melendez gets whistled for the foul. The ball will belong to the Crusaders. And now the action resumes. Melendez was right there on the pocket of Trowick on the whistle to resume. Didn't get much of an advantage-disadvantage situation there.
Thought she was supposed to give her 5 yards behind her, but took advantage of a non-call there. It's allowed to creep up.
Clinton comes up through the middle of the field. Santucci flashes and makes the steal in transition.
Stepped right into that passing zone.
And now she will start down the left side, works her way to the arc to left post, and the whistle trailing the play.
Why? I don't understand why they take the advantage away from the offense like that. Just because somebody was in the wrong spot, it seems like sometimes.
Signal, it sounds like, was for a dangerous hit. Just not
dangerous enough.
Not dangerous enough to draw a card.
Just to stop the action.
Santucci dashes along the goal line and finds the back of the cage.
Catches everybody flat-footed. You can thank the official for that, I think. Everybody's standing around after that whistle.
6:06 to play here in the first half, and Leominster has grabbed a 6-1 advantage. And it's timeout Crusaders. Coach Emma Ordman wants to talk things over down on the sideline.
Nice little flash of offense here in the last 6 or 8 minutes by the Blue Devils. Doubled the score from 3 to 6. Take a nice 5-goal lead here as first half winds down.
And that is a woman-up goal for Leominster on the advantage.
They got them woman up, they got them short woman, and they got woman down. They got them all 3 ways today.
Indeed they have, as teams meet on the sideline here. And, of course, in this game, as you know, it is an offensive-minded game. I would say 6-1 does not feel safe in any way, shape, or form. So, of course, if you're Coach Ken Abishon, Billy, you got to be saying, well, we're happy with the way we've started. Now we have to continue to build as we move forward.
Yeah, well, Leominster's not only got 6 goals, but they're playing great defense, too. They got a number of steals in the middle of the field. Really shut down Groton Dunstable's offensive opportunities here, especially in the latter half of the first half. Very limited opportunities for Groton Dunstable's offense, even when they were the girl up. I don't think they had a shot on goal, so good job all around by Leominster.
6:06 left here in half number 1. 6-1 is Leominster's advantage. Hope you're enjoying this one here on RFM. First of the week. It was supposed to be a 3-game week here on RFM, and weather claimed Monday's scheduled game. It was baseball games. Shrewsbury and St. Paul were supposed to have that action for you yesterday, and those thunderstorms laid claim to that one, a game that was rescheduled for today, although cannot find a result anywhere on that action.
Not to save my soul.
I was going to say, but we are right back at it. We do hit the diamond coming up on Thursday. It's Leominster traveling to Hudson for a little Thursday night lights on the baseball diamond out at Riverside Diamond on the campus of Hudson High. We'll have that action for you in a 1-day delay. We'll have that action for you on Friday night. Stay with us here on RFM. Follow us on Twitter at Media Rivalry, and we'll get you the official schedule for that action. But that game is Thursday night, scheduled for a first pitch at 7 o'clock, and we'll have that action for you coming up. Kate, I've got a surprise for you. Bill Thomas, Johnny on the spot with a result. Final score from Worcester today. Shrewsbury takes a 9-3 win over St. Paul on the baseball diamond. To confirm right now, the Colonials are the class of Central Mass baseball in 2022.
Right now, they certainly are. Coach Lee Diamantopoulos has got those gentlemen firing on all cylinders right now coming out of Shrewsbury. Talked to his mother today during class. She's a little bit worried about tonight's game. I'm not going to lie. She's like, are you coming? She's the best. She gets more nervous than anybody that I know for those games. I saw Mom and Dad today. I was
going to say, always good to see the Diamantopoulos family. And we'll hopefully see them in the weeks ahead as we'll see some Leominster and Shrewsbury action as we move our way on into the playoffs. There is a whistle. There will be a restart. The draw control belongs to Leominster off the whistle.
Leominster still warming up here for a little bit longer.
Indeed they are at 5:45 left here in half number 1.
Go to the penalty area.
As you can see, Paulding still down there, the senior, trying to
ready.
stretch things out as she'll rejoin the action shortly. Cudahy goes to the cage, tries to go low, long whistle as the flag was out, and now the whistle. And the foul is called against Leominster in the offensive end, so the restart will belong to Groton Dunstable.
There we go.
And right back into the action as we are at even strength at 5:10 to play here in the first half, and Leominster with the 6-1 advantage. Paulding raced right in to try to pick up the pass from Clinton. It was over her head, but Groton picked up the ground ball, and they control through the midfield with Valenta. Valenta races down left center of the field. Little sachet step as she comes toward the arc. Goes cross fan, finds the connection for Barry. Barry goes far corner, centering, one-time shot, score!
Set up beautifully.
The
Nice
sophomore
job.
Koch with a quick stick connection and finds the back of the cage for the second goal of the game for Groton at 6-2.
True one-timer there. Unreal.
That's a catch and shoot right there, but nice two-pass assist and almost like a hockey goal there.
That was
Go back
impressive.
a couple of passes to really set that up in the corner. But you talk about catching and shooting in the middle. Great job right there. Leominster defense had no chance to get this sticks up.
And it was a sorely needed goal for Groton Dunstable. They needed that tide to kind of stem as Leominster had found themselves with 4 unanswered to get themselves to a 6-1 advantage. Now at 6-2 at the 4:35 mark here before halftime. Draw control won by the Crusaders, and they're right back on the attack. This is Koch, the goal scorer, has got the ball again.
And this is why you say seemingly almost no lead is safe in this particular sport because momentum rules the roost, as it were. And right now, the momentum favoring GD.
The deflection through the stick. Santucci had it momentarily, but taken right away from her by Valenta. Valenta goes to the middle of the arc. And there is a signal for a stick behind the head. And so the action here will be a Valenta free position.
Direct as well.
Indeed it is. She'll be right straight away at the top of the arc. Whistle goes top shelf left, missed wide, but the backup is owned by the Crusaders. Waiting back there was Sophia Egan. Egan makes the connection for Carly Iwa. Iwa, one of 3 players in this Groton Dunstable program that are part of a collaborative effort with Air Shirley High School. As there is call for contact there, long whistle. And there'll be a free position once again, this for Belapani.
Only so many times that Leominster can flirt with this particular situation and come out unscathed. but they do
Belapani
again.
dashes to the cage. Signal is a stick to the face. And
Try it
another
again.
free position opportunity coming up for the Crusaders.
Try again. Philandi's doing a nice job, though, keeping her cool.
Belapani again will have the free position. Whistle, dash to the cage. Bounce shot, it knuckled and slipped by Philandes on the short side. It's a score for the Crusaders, and Leominster's lead has been cut in half. 2:51 before halftime, it's 6-3 Leominster.
Tough one there. I think I might have caught a leg or a stick on the way through, but had a little extra spin of momentum and somehow found its way into the goal.
It's almost like it didn't come out of the cross when they wanted it to.
Came out late.
It came out way late.
It almost looked like it bounced off a foot.
Yeah.
Took
And
an odd bounce right there.
Philandes had already committed. The ball slows down, kind of bounces, and you just watch it roll by.
And it
There's
kinda-
nothing you could do.
Kind of hopped up over her.
Yeah.
So I think she was expecting that low skip. Never got it. Got a little soft bounce. And
Hear that howling wind on the crowd, Mike.
Continues.
It is no joke out there now. The sun has gone away and things have cooled right down.
thank you, Doyle Field, for a beautifully enclosed press box.
That's right, as the wind blows from Upper Field toward Morton Street here in Leominster.
It's brisk.
Indeed it is. On what was a beautiful day, temperatures in and around the 70s, still probably in the low 70s or high 60s at first draw. Now, having slipped down with that increase of wind, slipping middle 60s and falling.
Billy, I told Todd once again, bring the jackets.
Yeah.
Be prepared.
Bring the jackets.
And I think the crowd got the message as well as people have started to bundle up as the light has become less and less, and we're using more and more of the overhead lighting here at Doyle Field. Young with control, kind of going back and forth along X to see if she can find a connection. She goes left side of cage this time. The flash, ball belongs to Emma Milaela. Goes top of the fan. Marchetti not able to handle, but was unchallenged and was able to scoop up the loose ball.
That's why you got to mark closely. You get one opportunity to get your stick in there, the ball gets on the ground. You can't stick check, but if it's a free ball, you can have a whack at it.
Absolutely. And you feel a little bit like Leominster, as they've worked their way around the fan in this game tonight compared to the Bromfield game the other night, has had a lot more room to work. Bromfield, it felt like, was marking a lot more closely on those 4 Leominster offensive players on the attack around the fan at the beginning of the set plays.
Yeah, and I think they were forcing the issue and not letting Leominster get into its set play offense, forcing early pass or errant passes, and it all comes from that defensive pressure. Leominster's doing a good job of burning the clock here. Burned almost a minute here. The half winds down.
As we
without
get
taking a shot, being very patient.
to that final minute here before halftime. Coming up at the half, we'll step aside here on RFM, reset things for second half action as you join us in same-day delay here on RFM. This is Marchetti as Leominster continues to watch the sand travel through the hourglass, trying to bring this game to halftime, holding a 3-goal lead. Final 35 seconds before halftime. Young to the left side of the cage. Not going to find anybody flashing there as Leominster very idle along the arc. Now a screen. Santucci, wide open shot. Score!
Oh, off a screen, came out of a pack. Beautifully set up. Young, patient as can be.
And it was
that
a
her
picket fence screen there, Bill Thomas.
Yeah,
Two
it's just, I
players
tell you.
lined themselves up. She slipped right in
around
behind
it,
him.
right around it. Great
Beautiful play. Little flash and dash for Gabby Santucci. 22 seconds before halftime, and Leominster has increased their lead to 4 once again. It's 7-3.
How about the patience there, though? Ball control for almost 2 minutes, and finally find the slashing offensive player, and Young with great patience. Pinpoint passing him, a lot of sticks in the way there. She's done that a number of times tonight.
Just reflecting on just how well that screen sprung Santucci. I mean, just came into a wide open field in the middle of the arc, seemingly wiped out 2 to 3 defenders in just lining up. Draw control will be won by Leominster again as it's swept on, at least momentarily, by Miller Ayala, and then there is call for the stick contact, and so Leominster will get it off the whistle. The officials picking up, moving around, picking up, moving
By the time
around.
they're done, the horn's going to
I was
sound.
going to say, final 2 seconds. Miller Ayala, a little underhand shovel looking top shelf, and it's wide of the cage. Halftime here at historic Doyle Field. Leominster with the 7-3 advantage over Groton Dunstable at the half.
Better get to your halftime.
Halftime
Good thing
here.
we only got 2 girls get senior night.
Halftime here at Doyle Field, where the officials have decided 5 minutes in their 4th game of the day is sufficient for a varsity halftime. We'll take a break. We'll step aside. Second half action when we continue. Leominster's lead is 7-3 at the half. More to come. This is RFM. Abbreviated halftime over. We're back to action here as we ready for second half action. Leominster with a 4-goal advantage, 7-3 as we begin second half action here on RFM. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and you. Great to have you along with us here for action tonight. Hope you're enjoying this one in same-day delay. Santucci back at the midfield for the draw. And it looks like Catherine Shea has stepped in for the draw for Groton Dunstable. Sticks in the cross.
I missed the stick change, the stick exchange.
I was going to say.
From the previous game.
Leominster's got another draw control to open the second half of action. Maintained about that 2-1 margin through the first half. And they start right away. 15 seconds into this one, they've got the first draw control. Leominster goes right to left in the second half. Cudahy dashes to the center of the arc, whistle behind the play. Cudahy's ball hits the back of the cage, but it will not be tallied. The call is a free position as the foul called against the defensive team. The whistle, Cudahy to the cage. Point blank, Clinton able to knock it down and keep it outside of the goal line. Great point blank save, one of many for Caroline Clinton, the junior goalkeeper.
She has been stellar.
You could hear the save. I think she stopped out with the shaft of her.
I was going to say, or was that connective point where the cross meets
I
the shaft?
Whatever it was, good job staying home right there.
And she is way away from
Let's
home.
see if we can't get a little perspective here of where she is. She's almost at midfield.
And she drew the foul on Young, who realized where they were on the field.
And she
She's
retains
attacking.
possession.
She was about 40 yards away and now just flings the ball downfield looking for Egan. And she will trot back to the cage as the action proceeds to the offensive end.
She is fun to watch in that
She
cage.
wants to get in the edge. She's going to venture past midfield eventually, I can tell.
Crusaders go left to right. That's one of the things, both in the men's and women's game, or the boys and girls game at the interscholastic level, that is different than other sports. You know, in hockey, you want to run the extra skater on. You're not going to send the goalie down to join the offense. In this sport, goalie has no problem. They'll join the action, become your extra stick on the offensive end where possible.
Take that big stick down the other end and use it to your advantage.
And there is an illegal body check called against Leominster. Officials moving players around. Looks like a free position opportunity is what they signal. There's a whistle and turned into a false start. They're going to signal a do-over. Coach Aubuchon not happy.
Is there a do-over?
And now the officials are having a conversation. We'll see what we can pick up from our field.
Clock has stopped at 22:45. Who's talking? We're talking? We're talking and confusing them.
They heard us down there. I heard Rivalry Family Media.
We're
mentions.
talking and confusing them.
Apparently, they were confused by the broadcast. I sound like a lot of things, but not a whistle. As Bellapini scampers to the cage and scores. 22:41 left here in the second half. And the Crusaders have cut this to a 3-goal game at 7-4.
Todd, you just got a new nickname.
The whistle?
Todd the Whistle Robbins.
I don't think you're making any friends tonight.
Apparently used to, you know, when you're working your fourth game of the day, you're used to an empty facility where nobody talks.
Oh my goodness.
Unbelievable.
And you thought the music before the game was
I was going to say, I giggled. This is what I get for giggling at Dick Tucker over on the other side. Getting yelled at for the music being on.
Put the crowd mic down.
Ay. And we return this action without comments.
I can't wait for, like, Goslin to say this during football season.
Hey, keep it down up there in the press
Can you
box.
imagine? I mean, just imagine, if you will, a Leominster-Fitchburg football game. I think anybody goes, gee, the broadcasters are talking.
Goslin is definitely doing that to you.
Oh, God. Bill Goslin's laughing somewhere, as asinine as it may be. 22 and a half left here in the second half. We're in a 3-goal game. Go figure.
You are not making any
The
friends tonight.
flag is up. And the signal for a contact in and around the head. Leominster will own it on a free position.
You're being told to quiet down again. You're going to get kicked out.
I'm not that lucky.
We've gotten that from fans. Like, never the official.
Miller Ayala dashes to the cage. Bounce shot. Score!
Get that one back. Nice job.
And Leominster is doubled up once again at 8-4, 22-03 left here in the second half of
You're
action.
going to be berated at the end of the game. It's going to happen. I'm not defending you.
I appreciate
Billy
that.
and I will pack up. You can take that dagger. The talent takes the dagger.
I was going to say, that's the job around here. Great to have you along with us wherever you are, joining us in same-day delay here on RFM. Yes, they got the letters right. That's the key part. Todd Robbins,
knew who we were.
Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins.
I had the crowd mic picked out. It was Rivalry family meeting.
There's
up
no
there.
such thing as bad press, Bill Thomas. There's
I
no
agree.
such thing as bad press.
I love it. That's who we are. I'm glad they know it.
As the ball returns to midfield.
Regroup.
I don't know if it's possible
You know,
at this
this
point.
LTV didn't get blamed for that.
Well, of course not. Yeah. You can't do that to me. That's not fair. Charlie Chaplin's on play-by-play on that broadcast. As the ball goes up in the air and we're away. 22 minutes and counting left here in the second half. Ball continues down the left side of the field. Scooped up on the fly by Egan, and away we go.
Maybe
will
we
say
can
that-
have them put windows on the press box. They won't be able to hear us. That's the problem.
Ball gets circled to the near side here with control. This is Shea. Shea comes to the short side, sends the ball back to the top. This is Belapani. And then there's a whistle away from the play.
Crossbody.
Don't get blamed.
We'll send it down to Dottie Pepper. Is she going to whisper while the restart
Dottie
happens?
Pepper.
The action is picked and going in the other direction. It's Emma Miller Ayala. Tries to find the connection up the left sideline.
Dottie Pepper.
Pinned along said sideline, swept out of play. It was Carr there for Leominster, the junior midfielder. And Leominster controls it on the restart. Now a whistle. More confusion? And a card is up.
You're going to put you in the penalty box.
And the card is going to go against Groton Dunstable.
It is.
25.
Yeah, 25 is the call. It's Carly Ewa. It's a 2-minute. 2-minute yellow card against Ewa, the 21:04 mark. And so Leominster goes woman up. And Coach Abishan calling out a play. Melendez tries to find a flashing Marchetti, and Clinton sticks out the fishing net and scoops that one up.
Yeah, Marchetti couldn't handle that cleanly, trying to go for the catch and shoot, but a little mishandled. Clinton right on top of it to snag that loose ball.
She has had great
She's
command.
she's roaming around now, running the offense. Come on back.
And draining the time from the clock. That's the genius part about that kind of move. Struggled with the connection coming into the near right boundary, but Trowick was able to scoop, and the action proceeds.
Useless
As
whistle.
Trowick, gets slashed going into the right boundary. And now Trowick will send it back to the center of the field and find Brooke Barry. Tries to find a bouncing connection for Shea. Shea's trying to race toward that far sideline.
Yeah, stop it.
And
before
yeah,
it got to that
just-
yellow line
just
over there.
barely.
There's so many lines, but you just play the last one and hope it's the right one.
Was able to keep it in along that boundary on the left sideline. Under 20 minutes left here in regulation. This is Valenta. Valenta makes a connection for Barry. Barry rolls right, dashes back to the fan. And now the action slows here for Valenta. Great kill here thus far for the Crusaders. Come to the near side. Find Barry. Barry bounces, center of the cage. Connection made there for Egan. Egan reverses direction and again keeps the time running here, shortening up this woman-up opportunity that Leominster has barely had, if you think about it. They had the ball at the restart when they went woman-up and haven't touched it since. And they were able to successfully kill it as we go back to even strength. Belapani got cross-checked at that moment, and so it will be an even strength free position for the Crusaders, who had a phenomenal 2-minute kill. Belapani now dashes to the cage, and that's a butt-end save made by Philandis at point-blank range. And now Leominster will start the run-out. 18.5 left here, second half. 8-4 advantage. Cudahy, that loose long cradle as she comes angled from right to left.
Maria, get in the A.
I think Maria needs to be inside the A.
Indeed.
You can hear Coach Aubuchon from downtown.
There is
if you
no
needed
confusion as to what
as
he's
to what he
looking for.
wants.
As Young will circle behind the cage. But that's not distracting.
It's just
So-
you.
I rest my case.
Young
It's just
setting up
you.
in her spot here, looking for somebody flashing. Most likely, Cudahy's been her favorite target in the middle.
Young with that cradle right. Nothing going there.
Here comes
Dashes
Cudahy.
back left.
Running that weave. Let's back off a little bit here so you can actually see what the offense is trying to
A
do.
lot of traffic in there right around the arc. Cudahy somehow got away from it. Could not catch the pass from Young. And there's Clinton scooping up the loose ball and
Yes.
scrambling to safety. She takes a slash from Melendez uncalled. Now coming to the near boundary. Finds Trowick. Trowick caught in a double team, working her way up the right sideline. And the dangerous body check called against Leominster, and so the continuation belongs with the Crusaders. Action again, and the whistle.
Little stick check right there.
Valenta will have it on the restart. She'll center middle of the field for Barry. Barry goes left side this time. And finds Belapani, who has been very, very well handled for the ball, but missed a couple of opportunities throughout this game that she would probably like to have back. A couple of good scoring opportunities, a couple of free position scoring opportunities, and she's converted some, but I think Belapani would like a couple of more. Going to come to the near side. Find Valenta.
Groton Dunstable doing all the work in front of the cage here. Nothing behind. Complete opposite of what Leominster's been doing offensively.
Ball ends up on the ground. Slash called against the Crusaders. It'll be Leominster ball on the restart. Miller Ayala's got it in transition. And she gets shouldered off the play.
Takes away that advantage again. I hate when they stop that run out on the offense.
And they have to reset the action to approximately where it stopped. But then the quick restart. This is Hersey. Hersey goes left, finds Melendez.
Immediately, Leominster goes behind the goal, and Groton Dunstable did all their work out in front of the goal. Completely different offensive philosophy.
Yeah, two totally different offensive opportunities and offensive shapes. Melendez comes all the way up left wing, tries to find a slashing Marchetti. Ball hit the ground, but Young steps in to scoop it up.
Good stick by Young right there, going back to her spot behind the cage on the right side.
Senior night ceremony coming up post-game. Stay with us for that as Young wheels around the cage. Shot going left side was wide. The officials are moving bodies down on the field, and it looked like the signal was upfield. So it's going to be Groton Dunstable ball.
Not sure what happened there, but you're right, Todd. It's going to be
Yeah, it
JV
is.
ball.
Going to belong to the Crusaders on the restart. They put it in the cross of Phelps. As we go under 15 minutes here in the second half.
Followed by two defenders here, doing a good job driving her back, just burning some clock.
Phelps batted that one back to Clinton, and Clinton then has the look upfield, and she finds the connection for Egan. Egan lost the ball, Scooped it back up along the left boundary. Leominster makes some changes on the right side of their attack. And the whistle and signal is against Miller Ayala. She'll get put behind Egan on the restart. Egan takes it down left side. Egan with the cradle. She'll drop it off left. Past the 14-minute mark of the second half. Inside find. Wheeling around. This is Giovannini. The flash for Egan. Egan tries to reverse Fields, looking for Belapani on the right side. She got it across two Blue Devils and then had it poked away from her on the attack right side of the cage. The whistle goes against Caldwell, and Belapani will have it. Standing just off the arc, almost parallel the end line. Officials moving. And she'll take this on the indirect. She will move it away. Send it back toward the top of the fan. This is Koch. And they call the cross check. Move players around. Koch will have it on the restart. Whistle. Koch goes into the arc. Dishes it off immediately. Finds Shea. Shea for Belapani. Belapani dashes her way back toward the fan. Centering pass looking for Koch. It got knocked down in traffic, and Leominster picks it in transition. Miller Ayala finds the connection for Santucci. And Santucci's got open field in front of her as she scampers from right to left. Santucci getting checked off the play. In through the arc.
And that's the way you have to play her. You have to bother her before she can get anywhere near that arc fan.
Long whistle, flag is out. Melendez will own it along the end line.
Conversation in front here with, looks like Santucci, the official, was having words with her about placement or something.
Yeah, they're trying to move bodies around. Clock continues to wind here, and that certainly advantages Leominster. Melendez for a flashing Marchetti, rips a shot and does not find the cage. And the loose ball's picked up on the ground and ends up back in the cross of Clinton. Clinton goes center of the field. The one-hop pass got by Santucci and then scooped up on the play by Barry. As the wind continues to whip. Here at historic Doyle Field, a strong right to left as you watch this one on your screen.
Just to give you some idea, while we got a break in the action, the flag is out straight.
Indeed it is, and that wind is coming hard.
That's no small flag.
Off the upper field and on down through the bowl. Ball is awarded to Groton Dunstable. Here's the flash. Pocket picked of Belapani. And that is ruled an illegal stick check. And the ball will go to the arc for the free position for the Crusaders. Belapani, whistle to begin, dash to Falandis, and a score! The flag was out again, but the ball found the back of the cage, and the Crusaders once again find themselves down 3. 10.5 left in regulation.
Plenty of time
8-5 is Leominster's advantage. And Kate, you said it. There is still plenty of time here. But 3 has been about the margin that they've struggled to overcome since the early 2-1 Leominster advantage.
I think you're right, but the problem is that Leominster has not scored on offense for quite a few minutes. And so again, we talk about momentum in the game of lacrosse and how important it is, and Leominster has scored in spits, in
Fits, spurts.
Fits and spurts. Yes, thank you.
Spits works, Kate.
Either way.
Words. They're all just words, people. But they've been doing a nice job, but they have been fairly quiet for the last few minutes.
Shea and Santucci on the draw control, and it's an outright win for Koch as she outreached Miller Ayala. Koch looks to center. And there's a whistle on the ground ball, and it belongs to the Crusaders.
Looked like a nice defense right there.
Koch hangs at the arc and then dropped the ball. She turned and looked back. Maybe she heard footsteps with Santucci closing behind. Santucci makes the scoop and now turns the action back upfield from right to left. Santucci comes left. Finds Melendez. And Melendez stays wide on the left wing as we are under 10 minutes. 9:40 and counting left here in the second. Melendez wraps to the right side of the cage. A flash. Quick stick for Cudahy over the cage and out of play, but Leominster's got the backup. Young protecting the back line.
Good setup right there. Leominster has to be patient playing with this 3-goal lead. You don't want to have a giveaway. You got to stem the tide right here.
A couple of players fall down well off the play.
I guess we got some explaining to do.
Now you be quiet.
So the officials are having a conversation with the players about the contact, and they will reset the play, pretty much leaving everybody where they are. Young got pushed back a little bit toward the back line for the restart. Young found Melendez. And now a whistle away from the play once again. It's against Groton Dunstable, so Leominster will keep. It's a free position opportunity. The dash toward the cage for Young. Waited on that shot as long as she could, and Clinton took it away out of the air.
Nice net right there.
Clinton is so good in those short range positions. She just does not panic. She does not falter.
Does a great job tracking the ball, and she's had a good look at it for most of those opportunities.
And she's in great position, Todd, pre-shot, and I think that's the key there.
Her fundamentals are incredible.
Exactly right.
No question about it. The action dashes behind the cage here. This is Egan.
First time we've seen Groton Dunstable work behind the cage, and they quickly move it back out front.
Indeed, they do to the left side. Now back to the top of the fan. This is Brooke Barry. Barry's pass looking center for Koch. Got knocked down in traffic, and it's picked up in transition. And Nina Marchetti hops on her horse, and she will change fields.
Looking for some help.
And finds that help in Hersey. Hersey for Cudahy.
Looking for Young.
Cudahy dashes. Now brings it back. Center of the
Nice
arc.
job.
Snaps the shot off and scores.
You know, and I think that she got everybody looking in the corner for that pass, and she just reversed it to the center of the field. Nice job.
7:27 left in regulation. Leominster increases their lead to 4 once again at 9-5. And timeout taken by the Crusaders. Coach Emma Ordeman sees this possibility here. This might be your chance to perhaps set up a play, win the draw control, and get that last gasp of momentum potentially rolling here.
Well, they've done a good job here controlling the action in the second half. Cutting that lead down to 3 and playing with that for a while. But Leominster finding a way to play some defense and then getting a goal back of their own, getting it back up to 4. Have to see if they can build this back up to 5 or even more. But Leominster definitely needs to hold this momentum, not let GW come out of this timeout and score a quick goal and grab it right back.
We mentioned off the top of the broadcast for Groton Dunstable, they are awaiting what comes next, whether that's seeding for the Central Mass tournament as their regulation games have resulted in the end of their schedule. Meanwhile, for Leominster, a couple of more left here in the regular part of the season, so to speak. One more next Wednesday, May the 25th, on the road visiting the Spartans at Oakmont. Listed as a 4 p.m. start time next Wednesday. Meanwhile, draw will come out sometime that same week. Action will begin in the Central Mass Athletic Directors Tournament, the Samata Tournament. Central Mass Athletic Directors Association sponsoring the spring tournaments once again here in Central Mass. The battle for what formerly would have been known as the district title hosted now by the Athletic Directors Association, as it's no longer recognized by the MIAA.
And I think that the way to aptly kind of discuss it is it's akin to at the collegiate level you have the conference tournaments. So, for
Yes.
instance, last weekend, NCAA Division I softball conference tournaments. This weekend, NCAA men's baseball conference tournaments. Those don't go toward your playoff. They count. They go toward your seeding.
Correct.
For the playoffs,
They
but
could
it's
also
not.
get you an automatic qualifier at the
Correct.
college level, which, of course, high school not yet ready for that in
No.
the way they have kind of
They've got enough going on with their
structured this to get
algorithms.
into AQs or automatic qualifiers.
Correct. But it is a situation where if you had to make a comparison, it would be more akin to that because it doesn't directly affect your playoff
Your
hopes
regular
and
season
dreams.
records, for sure.
Correct. Well, there's been a lot of confusion in the community because people, if somebody loses in the Samana tournament, they go, wait a minute, they're still
They're
playing?
out? Yeah, how
or
are they
they're
still in?
What are we doing?
Oh, and remember, in the wintertime, that Midwatch tournament occurred somewhere in the waning weeks of the regular season. There were regular season games scheduled after
Yeah.
that in-season
The
tournament.
winter
So
the
it's-
winter season was the craziest of them all because number one, it wasn't Samata. Number two, there were regular season games after, and there were other tournament games going on seemingly simultaneously
Other tournaments
to
elsewhere,
that Central
yes.
Mass tournament. So the winter season for basketball was just wild.
Indeed it was. As we go under 7 minutes here in regulation, Clinton comes up with the ground ball, and she's calling
She's
out
on
a
her
play,
horse.
quarterbacking the offense.
She's fun to watch.
Indeed she is. A lot of folks bidding for that one. Sticks in the air. Groton Dunstable wins the ground ball on the whistle, and then there's a follow-up violation called against Leominster. Good sportsmanship shown there by Kylie Cudahy, trying to help up a downed opponent. And now the whistle to resume play. This is Barry. Shea goes reverse field. Ball deflected on the way to Barry. Dropped on the cross. This is Bellapani to the cage. Looks far corner. Goes wide. Backup race, and it looks like Leominster has won the backup. They have. Great sprint there by Laura Philandes out of her goal position to get to the back line first.
Yeah, and a result of Groton Dunstable not playing that back line, not playing behind the goal at all. Everything out front.
Under 6 minutes, 5:38 and counting left here in regulation. There's a battle for the ball and a whistle for the contact called against Groton Dunstable. They rearrange the players, and quickly, Cudahy sprints right back to action. Cudahy fakes toward the left post, now cycles back behind the cage looking for Young. And you can tell the players that have that club experience, this is one of those developmental changes that's happened in the sport of women's lacrosse. Back 15, 20 years ago, on a restart, you waited for a whistle, just like you do in the sport of field hockey or soccer. You will wait a whistle to restart. Now, in women's lacrosse, they rearrange the players, and then the officials just basically say, go. You can recognize that they've rearranged the players, and then you go. There's no waiting for a whistle to resume play.
Well, I think it's good. It keeps everybody on their toes.
The quick
No waiting
restarts
around.
meant to get the action flowing faster.
If they're going to take the action away from, from the offense, might as well let them have a quick reset if you can.
So you recognize that in like a player like Cudahy, Santucci, and others, when they get the ball and they know they've got the advantage coming out of the reset, they just go and they wait for somebody to tell them otherwise. As Cudahy turns, takes the turnaround shot, knocked down by Clinton. Another opportunity. Cudahy recovers, finds Santucci closing in her shadow, and Santucci snaps to the back of the cage.
Nice job right there. Knew to look for that trailer. Here she comes. Nice pass.
4:12 left in regulation. Leominster is doubled up once again. It's 10-5.
And one of the things that, again, if you are new to this sport or at least new to the algorithm that is being used to determine the statewide playoff rankings.
In all sports.
And in all sports. But in this one in particular, in my estimation, you see quite easily that the score differential is key. You are not going to be able to take your foot off of the gas, even with a 4 or 5 goal advantage with 4 minutes to play. You are going to see these offenses even if they have a 4 or 5 goal advantage going into the waning moments, even with 30 seconds, 15 seconds, these offenses are going to have to continue to try to score goals because the score differential is so important in that statewide playoff ranking system. So to the casual observer or to somebody who may not be familiar with that algorithm, you're going to say that's poor sportsmanship.
Old school way of looking at
Unfortunately, that's not the way that the math works here. And so you are not going to see Leominster play the four-corner stall all that much. They are going to, if they get a look, they are going to drive the cage because they need the score differential to continue to increase in order to better their chances, in order to better their standing in the statewide playoff system.
Melendez rolled out of traffic there and seemingly got into the open field, only to be greeted by a whistle.
I didn't start the clock. I was talking too much. I'm so long-winded.
That's all right. 3:34 and counting left here.
Fixing it, y'all.
On the free positions, there are a whistle to restart. It's one of the differences as opposed to the open field. Melendez peeled off. She did not take a shot there and got just straight cross-checked off the play.
That's going to get a yellow card.
The MX is out, and it's a 2-minute warm-up opportunity for Leominster.
Take a seat.
That's frustration.
That
right
one
there.
is against
I think
Paulding.
spot on, Kate.
Paulding had got a 2-minute yellow card earlier in the game. And Paulding has been DQ'd.
I think the official heard you, Todd.
Maybe he did. I'm glad I could help. Let's switch that yellow to red. Much like you would see in soccer, 2 yellows are a red. And so Paulding picking up her second yellow today has been DQ'd. She will no longer continue.
So she sits in the box for 2. Somebody else can re-enter for her, but she
I
can't.
presume as much. Cudahy comes out of traffic,
She is.
finds some room, and sends it to the back of the cage.
Good job by Cudahy right there. Offensive magician.
And again, we will reiterate, any opportunity that this offense has to essentially run up the score is going to be something that they do, not out of poor sportsmanship, but because the algorithm for the statewide playoff system basically says goal differential is one of the things that can move you up in spots. And if you are a team looking to move up in the statewide playoff ranking, they could be potentially the difference between a home game versus a road game, or playing a higher seed or playing a lower seed.
And by the way, a road game that could take you via plane, train, and automobile
That's right.
to anywhere across the state.
I don't know if Coach
about
Palazzi is going to spring for a charter plane, but
I was worried about a boat ride during football or basketball season. I'm all up for a boat ride now.
Absolutely. What a great time of the year to take a boat ride.
Absolutely.
No question about that.
Does it fit into the RFM budget?
no.
I've always
So
wanted
what budget?
an RFM boat.
RFM boat. All
That's
right.
right. Why not?
Working on the helicopter.
That's
That's right.
The
So you
two
go
of you.
under 3 minutes here in regulation.
But again, this is why we do stress this point and mention it so often, because of what we know it looks like to the casual observer.
Especially if you are not acquainted with this new system. This was not the way it was 2 years ago.
Correct.
This is all part of that new statewide system and the statewide algorithm.
The values placed on
Correct.
winning and losing and scoring goals.
And score differential and
margin of
quality
victory.
losses. And
Quality loss.
all
Opponents.
sorts of things.
And speaking
play.
of quality
key term
losses and
that I
margin
don't like.
of victory and or defeat, Groton Dunstable's 29th in D2. They're fighting for their life for the playoffs.
Indeed
At
they
that
are.
borderline 500.
Young to the cage.
right there.
Puts another one home.
Borderline 500 and fighting to be on that 32 cut line. So Groton Dunstable's really fighting for their playoff life right here.
2:13 left in regulation. It's 12-5. Leominster continues to widen that goal differential.
You know, we talked about what was going to happen when Groton Dunstable cut it down to 3. Well, we saw how Leominster has answered. They have added 4 straight goals since the Groton Dunstable cut that lead down to 3. And all of a sudden, Groton Dunstable is looking at a 7-goal deficit.
Coach Abishan is making some changes here, bringing some players out. Melendez comes over to the sideline. We'll see Callie Reed step in here and join the fray. Change the draw situation. Marchetti will battle Shea for the draw. 2:13 left here. On the draw control, they'll try that again as the ball barely made it out of the cross. And so they'll reposition things.
Try again.
Yeah, try it again. We'll reload here. Remember, coming up, if you've enjoyed this one, you can find it anywhere you like. YouTube.com. Search Rivalry Family Media. Like, follow, and subscribe today. Premieres on Facebook. Facebook.com/Media Rivalry for all your RFM action here. And we're not done this week. First of two. Next game coming up this week as Marchetti dashes to the arc, picks up the pass, and buries it in the back of the cage.
Great fast breaking and great answer to winning that face-off. She ends up getting rewarded, coming down the middle with a nice pass, scores the goal.
13-5. Leominster may be looking to increase this to a 10-goal advantage. If they're able to do that, that may be to their benefit statistically. And so they're looking, I think, potentially to get this to 15-5, potentially, as we work our way forward here. Talking about that next broadcast comes up on Thursday. We've got the action for you. Back to the diamond we go. Leominster travels to Hudson for baseball action. We'll have it for you in a one-day delay. Game available on Friday, 7 o'clock for that first pitch on the replay, 24 hours after the scheduled first pitch at Riverside Diamond at Hudson on Thursday.
I've just been informed, Todd, maximum
Yes.
differential is 10, so Leominster might not be done if they want to maximize this victory.
That's what I thought. I was having the conversation with A.D. Palazzi the other night, and I thought he had said 10 goals in this sport was the number.
That's who I get my information from, too. Good source.
So 2 more would be that magic number.
Correct. And you've got 140 and counting left here in regulation. Now, we could debate till the cows come home whether this is good for interscholastic athletics in the state to encourage this, to reach this kind of goal differential. But strategically, while it is the current part of the equation, just like any other sport and any other rule or circumstance that gets put in place, you coach and you play to the rules as they are prescribed.
Exactly right.
Traffic and a tie up there, and the flag comes out. It's going to go against Leominster, and the free position will belong to Catherine Shea, the senior for the Crusaders. She'll start top of the arc.
Stop the clock.
And they're going to reload the clock to 1:10. The clock operator now distracting action down on the field as well. We're all getting nailed here.
I'm leaving the press box
was
as
gonna
soon
say
as that goes 000.
Well, I thought they carried the time on the field the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, Todd, you gave up the goal. That's true.
Ball
That is
bounces
true.
to the left sideline.
Mike
that's
never one to let up on you. I love it.
He
Well
never
done.
misses an opportunity. Hey, that's why we all sit together up here. Here's the dash. Oh, quick stick,
nice
set up.
job.
Nice job by Bellapani to find Shea inside, order the top shelf score.
Get one back right there. No maximum margin of victory for Leominster tonight.
13-6.
Groton Dunstable's going to make sure of that.
44 seconds left in regulation.
You know, and this might work, even though Leominster's, not highly ranked. Their record, it might work to Groton Dunstable's advantage in some backwards way. A somewhat quality loss, if they can, cut down on the margin of victory from Leominster, might keep them in that top 32.
Battle for the draw control. It gets knocked down to the ground, and the ground ball is run down by Santucci. Santucci rolls center of the cage. It's scooped up by Marchetti, and she'll throw it in the back of the cage.
They should play with a sense of urgency like there's only a minute left in the game all the time, and they're trying to maximize the victory. Goals coming fast and furious.
Marchetti, as you said, once again, score differential back up to 8. 30 seconds remaining in this one. But with the flurry of action that we've seen now on both ends of the field, can't let your guard down quite yet.
And the draw goes up, and Koch will scoop the ground ball for the Crusaders.
No whistles.
Clock will continue to run based on the signal on the field, and now the quick restart.
Confusing.
The action proceeds to the middle of the field. This is Valenta to the cage, went far corner. It got knocked down. Ball will scurry back out into the middle of the arc, and Leominster will scoop it up, and then on the one hop, the horn will sound to put this one in the books. 14-6, Leominster, a winner here at historic Doyle Field tonight. Leominster will improve their regular season record to 13-2 with 1 to play. Groton Dunstable will close out their regular season at 5-6 with action still open-ended. And hey, we're not done here on RFM. Senior night festivities here down on the field as we see them working toward their respective benches here. The players congratulating one another on a hard-fought game. Leominster a winner tonight by a 14-6 score. And then senior night to come here on RFM. Final thoughts here on what we saw here before we get to those senior night festivities, Bill and Kate?
I think Leominster did a good job. Got out to that early lead. GD did a good job kind of fighting there, but Leominster took that small lead into half, but did a good job playing with that lead in the second half, exactly what they needed to do. Somehow they found a way to battle back, too. Groton Dunstable was on the verge of really making a game out of this, Todd and Kate. They cut that lead to 3 there, middle of the second half, but a timeout, a couple of quick goals, and Leominster found himself back with a comfortable 5-goal lead. And that was all she wrote. They just played with that lead rest of the game. It was just a matter of what the final score was going to be.
You're absolutely right about that. An impressive effort on both sides. We saw flurries of brilliance there back and forth. A lot of whistles in the game, but we've seen that previously. So nice job, a nice bounce-back win for Leominster, and starting to play some quality lacrosse, getting 10-plus goals in this effort against a quality Groton Dunstable team that will only help their ratings going into both Somata and the statewide playoffs coming up in the next few weeks. So things are looking in the positive direction for this Leominster squad.
No, and Kate, I think your first point, your top-of-the-line point, was definitely the one to note here. It was the type of win that Leominster needed coming off of that loss to Bromfield, one that I know they felt frustrated by because it felt like an opportunity that they should have been able to, definitely, again, be there at the end, be competing to a 1-goal, finish, and they end up losing that one. And they lost with Bromfield well in control, 17-11. That one finished the other day, and so you need that bounce-back opportunity. How are you able to recover in that situation? And they feel fortunate, I think, with this one, a 14-6 final score for Leominster as the senior night festivities continue to set themselves up. Again, next game is Groton Dunstable's not listed here on the schedule that we have in front of us, so likely waiting for the Somata tournament. Leominster one more game in the regular season on the road at Oakmont next Wednesday. That's May the 25th to conclude their regular season, awaiting the draw of the Somata tournament. Laurie Young and Bridget O'Malley, those are the two seniors Leominster will acknowledge tonight. We're going to join the public address system here inside historic Doyle Field. Then a final word as we wrap things up here on same-day delay here on RFM. We certainly hope you have enjoyed our action here today. We've certainly enjoyed bringing it to you here on RFM today. It's been great to have you along with us. Again, if you're looking for the live premieres, that's Facebook, facebook.com/Media Rivalry. And then for those of you looking for this game or any game in replay, it's on YouTube, youtube.com, search Rivalry Family Media. Like, follow, and subscribe today. Or tinyurl.com/Media Rivalry. Take you right there. And then schedule updates and news from all across the region gathered from a myriad of sources all across the Twitter sphere at Media Rivalry for that information as well. See the two seniors at midfield. Coach Ken Aubuchon is there. Awaiting public address announcer Dick Tucker's hosting of this moment And now we join public address announcer Dick Tucker for senior night here at historic Doyle Field.
Taylor Caldwell, Alan Devani, and Christian Kuchel. Congratulations to the Groton Dunstable. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to acknowledge the two seniors for the Leominster Blue Devils. First, we have number 8, Captain Richard O'Malley and her parents. And the other senior, number 14, Captain Wach.
Senior night festivities you are watching here on RFM. As you see, two seniors here in the Leominster program receiving their well-deserved bow here on senior night, with Bridget O'Malley and Laura Young wrapping up their time. And a classy move there, Bill Thomas, right off the top of the senior night festivities, as Leominster presented each of the Groton Dunstable seniors, and there was a whole host of them, with a little token of appreciation on senior night. A classy move by the Leominster girls lacrosse program.
Nice little gifts right there for the seniors from Groton Dunstable.
Absolutely, very thoughtful.
Much appreciated and very thoughtful, I will agree.
No question about that. 14-6, Leominster is a winner here on senior night, improving their record to 13-2. Groton Dunstable with the loss falls to 5-6 for the moment. We'll see how all that goes into the machines.
With major playoff ramifications.
Absolutely.
For Groton Dunstable. We were talking off air a little bit, Todd. You know, they're hovering. I found them at 29th in D2. Leominster up to 19. You know, we were talking about they were in the high 20s with their great record prior to their loss last Friday. You know, but they update once a week. It's hard to get stuff caught up. But most recent information had Groton Dunstable at 5-5, but at 29, now dropping below 500, depending on how many games they can pick up tournament-wise through the end of the actual season until they finalize the power rankings. They're fighting for the playoff lives.
Indeed they are, and just few short weeks left to get yourself qualified for the MIAA postseason. Hey, hope you enjoyed this one. We had a lot of fun bringing it to you here on RFM on a beautiful evening, despite the wind
The
and the
wind
little,
died- the wind died
chill
down.
in the air.
Well, let's get a last peek at the flag, see what we got.
See what we have for an update here.
Yeah, it's out there. It's coming
still
off the hill.
It doesn't feel quite as bad down here in the bowl, inside the press box, but clearly
What a
coming up
beautiful
off
night,
that upper field and on down through the bowl here at historic Doyle Field. You can feel that wind. 14-6, Leominster is a winner. Hope you enjoyed this one here on RFM, and again, join us later on this week. Baseball action. You get this one same day delay tonight, then coming your way later on this week. You can catch the action. Leominster travels to Hudson to close out the regular part of the baseball season ahead of the Samata tournament coming up next week. All that action is right here on RFM. The game is Thursday at 7 o'clock. First pitch at Riverside Diamond on the campus of Hudson High School. We'll be out there for Leominster at Hudson on the baseball diamond. We'll have that action for you in 24-hour delay, as with that first pitch at 7 o'clock, action will end far too late to get that out to you at a reasonable hour on same-day delay. So we'll just go 24-hour delay. We'll have that game for you following up this Friday, and we'll have that action for you, again, 24 hours later at 7 o'clock on Friday night on YouTube and Facebook. We're looking forward to bringing it all to you as we do all the action here throughout the spring, and we also look forward to bringing you action from the Samata tournament. We'll have the action, of course, Leominster is involved in, as well as some select other opportunities, including the finals for the Samata games across the region, as many as we are able to capture throughout that next week window as well. We're looking forward to all of that on the doorstep of the spring season to come. Stay with us here on RFM for more fun to come. For Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins, I am Todd Robbins. Say thank you so very much for being a part of our family over the last couple of hours. Please enjoy all of the action in the weeks ahead here on RFM. For all of us here at RFM, until next time, we say, so long, everybody.